in this world is my balls and my word. And I don't break them for no. Do you understand?
Welcome to the Big KIZ Podcast. I'm Brian.
I'm Abu.
And bigkiz.com. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. You know, we'll have a Patreon. We'll have a Bitcoin address for you to send us Bitcoins. Because we're all about the cheddar,
we're
bread.
buying in the dip, you know. What's it called? A bearish approach, you know. Buying in the dip.
Wait, what approach?
Bearish. Isn't it? Because they use terms like bullish and bearish.
Oh, okay, yeah. You always got to buy the dip. But anyway, you know, I remember, you know, my motivational speaker during uni or whatever was Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you got to grind, you got to hustle this.
Of course.
Or whatever. But just that little, his like little slogan was all money in, no money out.
100%.
So
I believe in that.
You know, you got to build. You can't spend like buying chains and shit. Man, you know what I'm saying? You've seen it. The difference between billionaires and millionaires, right? You've seen it all the time. When you got a Billy, you don't need to drip.
Because you can buy shit from H&M and Primark. Just like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, exactly.
Plain tea, no brands. That's how you go, man.
Yeah, you go plain tea because you ain't got to show off then because when you are a billionaire you could buy that brand.
Exactly.
You know, why are you gonna get hyped when you can buy the brand? Why are you gonna get hyped for Prada when you can buy the brand? You're not that interested, you know.
Definitely, man.
You don't need to buy the T-shirt when you can buy the brand. You see what I mean?
Actually, if I was a billionaire, I'd do collabs. You know how for example, Kanye West has like a collab with like Adidas. I'd be like I'd do my own like clothing line. You know, I'd get like I'd have a deal with like Nike. I'd be like special edition Abu, and the shoes would be like they'll be like a pair of Air Max 97s, but with like self tying laces. Yeah, that'd be my shit. Yeah. And they'll cost like £300 minimum.
No, but if you're a billionaire, you can just have your one-offs. You don't need.
Oh yeah.
You don't need to even make it for the market. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. I just see Virgil Abloh, and he sorts me out.
Yeah, exactly. Virgil got a Patek on my wrist going nuts. Right? You don't need to fuck around. But even then, I'm at the point. It's like if I won the lottery, I'd be like, damn, do I even want to buy a Rolex? That's some Casio bullshit. Like that's some everyman wealth bullshit. Yeah. You know, that's why.
What are you getting at Audemars then? Is that what you're saying? Like Rolex is just too simple.
You know what though? I've noticed the Richard Mille. Millie or whatever, that's the hot one at the minute, but you know, technically it looks incredible and some of the stuff they're doing is incredible, but aesthetically it don't work for me, so I don't know. But you know what, I'm not classic enough to wear some of the more couture high-end like pieces in my opinion.
Do you want just like a scuba diver watch where it survives under like, I don't know, 10,000 metric gallons of water?
Well, you know what? This is the one thing actually with the Rolex. It's just like it is a perfect watch. There's a reason why everyone loves it because it's got the right aesthetic look and all that. But so yeah, you asked me earlier just before we started recording about gym because obviously COVID. And they locked down the gyms or whatever, but I started back up again now for a few weeks and I'm fluffy. Like I can tell what I'm saying. What I meant to say to you anyway is I know if I drop two stone I'll be looking good, but it's mostly fat. I think my muscle quantity is all right. My issue is aesthetically the fat is not showing the muscle, but I can see that. Do you know what I mean? I know what's happening there. It's not like a surprise or whatever.
Of course. Would you think cardio would help accelerate the rate in which you lose the fat? unwanted fat that you're trying to get rid of.
Yes, and actually, this is the thing. At the moment, the resistance work is taking it out of me. Like I'm suffering. I've not like hit that plateau where when you go in and you do quite heavy stuff, but it's not kicking your ass.
Yeah,
So I'm building up to that, and then I'm gonna literally my target is jump on the elliptical and keep it around 160, 170 beats per minute.
Okay.
Heart rate, and just go until I've burned 300 calories 3 times a week.
Nice,
that's the plan. But this is the other thing, right? It's like I realize there's no point going in and trying to do everything straight away, because you're going to burn yourself out. You're going to knacker yourself out.
You end up in hospital.
Yeah, exactly. Like you, my brother. When you went in ham. So it's just like, I'm pacing it, because on top of adding in the cardio sesh, right, which should be an extra 20 to 30 minutes, let's say, for 300 calories, fingers crossed. You were talking to me actually off air about the press up challenge, not today, but like other weeks. And so I want to do that every morning, 10 body weight squats, 10 press ups.
Yeah.
For 1 week. Next week, 11, and then build it up on top of all the gym and stuff. And it's that thing. What I've realized is you can't change everything in one day.
Entirely, yeah, definitely.
It's like everything is a grain of sand. It's like you've seen the sands of time, those glass timers or whatever.
Yeah.
It can go 1 grain of sand at a time, but you can build a mountain.
Yeah.
Out of that. And this is the thing, I think sometimes people don't realize, or even kids, like shit like gangs or stuff like this. It's like people, they're trapped within their environment, and no one's gone out to them and said, what are you thinking? Are you thinking long term? Are you thinking 20 years from now what you're gonna do? Like in those cultures, like gang cultures or any sort of criminal culture, the people are getting manipulated and used, and they're not given this consciousness or this insight about, you got 20 years. Because like, think about this right now. If you thought, I've got 20 years. If I thought, I've got 50 years to work, I wouldn't have gone in to work the way I did. I would have thought, no, let me get a master's. Let me do this. Let me do that. And then someone's going to pay me a lot more for my time for the rest of my life. Right?
Entirely.
But sometimes people don't you're not given that consciousness or that insight.
Yeah, I think society definitely kind of like, with all the shortcuts and like quick easy fixes, man, they're all over the gaff. Like, to talk about like when we go to the gym, right? For instance, like, in order to get strong and hence just be lifting the biggest weights, it takes years and years of dedication.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
But people don't recognize that. For example, I was at the gym with my boy, right, Calvo, and we were lifting up like we were doing arms that day, but then we saw some guys, some hench Donny, like Eastern European probably, on the bench. And these guys were like doing like 200 kilograms, like 5 reps.
Oh my God.
I'm thinking, yo. And so Caleb goes to me, yo, do you reckon those guys are avoiding? And I'm like, I don't know, probably. But then that was bad-minded of me, because you never know. Because
they could be natty. You don't know.
Yeah, you don't. They could be juicing. But my point was, like, on the other side, what if this guy put in the hours and years of achieving that, Because lifting something like that is no easy feat.
Even Roy did. It's not that easy.
Exactly. And it's kind of taking it away from what a normal person, let's say if they were natural and they did it for like a sustained 5 years, we're kind of taking away the shine from what that person's achieved. So it's kind of like it's not even recognized if you went the endeavor, the long years and years of persistent hard work. People just want to see the result.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's the tip of the iceberg. That's the thing. No one sees the work anyone puts in, man. Remember, I text you. I text you about the dude next to me doing a bench, a skinny lad.
Yeah.
And he's repping 120. I've never even done. I could rep 90, so I could technically one rep 100, but I never have done it. Just like clarity or whatever. But that dude, here's the reality. Like, that would have taken a year minimum from start to finish minimum. Probably took him 2-3 years of consistent training,
Exactly.
like weekly, more like multiple times a week training, push-ups every day.
Also the diet. That's another thing. Also people
Like
forget.
it,
The rest.
it's not so simple, but it's like it's that consistency and discipline that got him to
Yeah,
that
exactly.
to that stage.
Got people like you thinking like, damn, this boy can fucking lift.
Yeah, exactly. Because 120 kg bench is
Yeah, that's not
definitely
easy
on
feat.
it's definitely on the intermediate scale. Like no one, unless you happen to
Really, I
be.
think I feel like 80 is the more beginning of intermediate, and then 120 is like, yo. Once you get past 100, I feel like, yeah,
No, I
you
think
go to
100 is intermediate. I think that's for me.
really.
You know what? That's how I feel. Like
Mm.
I'm an advanced beginner, right? When you hit 100, that's when you're like, damn, intermediate. Because this is it. It's like when you can put 4 plates on your bar and two of them. Because think about it, 4 plates, 4 plates of 20 kg. No one puts 25 kg plates on the bench, right? I've never seen it in my life, even when the other guys go heavier. So 4 plates are 20, yeah. That's when it's like, yeah, that's the kind of weight where if someone is on their first day in the gym and they step in and they actually clock what you're doing, that's impressive, right?
Okay, yeah, true.
That's it's that intermediate thing where it's like you'd have to be freakishly strong or have like a good bench, because sometimes people got a good bench and shit squats and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, what would you? Okay, so if 100's for your bench, what would you say for like squat and deadlift? What would you say would be the intermediate?
So weirdly, I think squat depends on the size of the person,
Okay.
isn't it? I think it does, because I
So would
think
you?
that can make a big difference, like body weight with the squat. But I don't.
Mm,
To be honest, I know bench because I've seen smaller people bench more than me.
okay.
Right? I think for a deadlift, I do think it's weird. I find it weird, and if I think you're definitely beginner if you're not doing over 100 on a deadlift,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I admit that. Yeah.
like for sure, you're definitely beginner. I would say, to be quite honest, if you anything under 141 rep, because on deadlift is still on the more advanced side of beginner, because
Okay. Okay.
because think about it, I've seen people, like, let's say the top people can be 80 kilos and deadlift 400
Okay.
kilos.
Oh well, that's good. Those are like that's like experts, bro.
No,
What you're
that's
saying
pro.
here?
That's pro.
Yeah.
But let's say like semi-pros, like people who still compete, right, in competitions like local competitions, stuff, they'll be able to do 200
Okay.
in
Okay. Now I
deadlift.
see. I see. Now I see. Yeah, you're putting it in perspective now. Yeah.
So it's like, but those people have been doing it for years, so they're like on the intermediate scale, right?
Mm.
So anything kind of under that for me is like beginner. But to say beginner, there's
Yeah.
beginner, and then there's
There's someone who's
advanced
been on.
beginner.
Yeah.
Like,
So he's had probably like a layer for like a long period and just got back into it, and then for instance, like me, my gym habits has never been consistent. I've never been
no, of
gym
course,
for like a whole year straight.
no. That's the thing. I think to start getting consistent, you need to hit it 3 times a week minimum. Minimum. Really, if you're really going for it, bodybuilding, so you probably 4 or 5 times a week
Mm.
for years. That's how
Yeah.
you do it. And of course, you can have a few days off here and there,
Of course. Of course. Uh,
but plus diet as well.
Another thing I want to touch on with the gym, with this gym, well, gym culture that's coming back since everybody's trying to get their summer body ready, is have you noticed a lot of people wearing Gymshark in the gym?
Yeah.
Bruv, it's becoming like literally, and you know what? The people who are wearing it, yeah, not to be judgmental, but these people don't. These are kind of like fall in the beginner realm in regards to like they can barely do pull-ups. Like it's just kind of for show. Like I see this one guy geared out in fucking gear shop. fucking the polyester tee, the
Oh,
shorts,
okay,
even the
yeah.
fucking socks, bro. I'm
Even the
thinking,
socks, man, hit the
yeah,
sale hard, didn't it? That's was.
bro, honestly, yeah. And I think he's some meaty guy. Like, honestly, he's not lifting that heavy. Like, he's using the fucking. He's not like. He's using like the machine assisted kind of vibe. Like, I think he was doing like assisted pull ups. So then I'm
Okay, yeah.
thinking, bro, like, of all people, why are you giving your money to Gymshark when you're not even that? You're not a gym shark. You're not really about it. I just
They're
find it
selling the
peculiar, bro.
dream, though. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what they're doing. They're selling a dream. Their marketing is fucking is on point, bro.
No, the
Because even
marketing is on top for sure.
yeah. Because, bro, you got these beginners but getting this Gymshark, and I'm like, yo.
But I think you know what, like the gym culture, I think it
Mm,
has exploded with Instagram and Love Island
mm,
and social media, where people care more than they ever used to. I
about being
reckon
fit.
about being fit or being a bit wedge,
Definitely.
like
Yeah,
especially
that's
younger folk. I
yeah.
think it was always there, right? That kind of culture, but I think actually we're like in when I'm in the gym, the larger proportion is the youngest, like the largest section is the youngest group, like 18 to 25,
Mm.
because it's that whole Love Island. For me, that's the connection I make. It's that Love Island kind of vibe
Yeah,
with
yeah.
with, with the gym and physique and stuff.
Definitely. And it's funny because isn't this country supposed to be having like a obesity problem?
Well, see, this is the thing. I think in some ways they're the people taking a more optimistic view of it. Sometimes I'm saying it's like for superficial
Wait, you're
reasons.
saying are you trying to say that fat people are jolly?
You know what? Having been fat, I think is a lie. It's
Yeah,
a
of
definite
course.
lie.
Of course.
I mean, you're jolly in the sense that you can find solace in just eating food.
Yeah.
But other than that, actually, you're sweaty, you got less energy,
Mm,
like, and the way people treated me before and after
mm.
is like night and day.
Okay. So it's
You know,
clear
because
distinction of how.
because the thing is that here's what no one wants to say, and it's just simple human life. Like, you haven't got time to make judgments about people, get to know people, whatever. If when someone sees you're fat, they just take the attributes of being fat, which is lack of self control, lack of discipline, etc., etc., slovenliness, whatever,
Mm,
and they associate that you with your own personality traits.
mm,
So
mm.
this is like, even for me, even though I spent most of my time as a fat person, for me, I never felt like I was myself, in the sense that I'm not a lazy person, or I can apply myself and push myself or
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
But people didn't associate that stuff, and the way people treated me after, and not just the fairer sex, like
Yeah.
men
Yeah.
as well.
Of
Men
course.
treated me differently.
Mm,
Men, they put respect on your name,
of
kind of
course. Of
type
course.
thing. And I was, I never was even significantly wedge in any shape or form.
All right. I want to ask you a question, right? Can I ask, like, how did you end up getting fat?
So maybe, like, I want to say the word is depression, but I think actually what happened was I was never that. I was like a chubby kid,
Mm,
but in my head during adolescence, I didn't make that distinction of being a little bit chubby and incredibly obese, I guess.
did you partake in any sports or nothing like that, or just
So this is the weird thing. When I was 15, I used to be in the school rugby team, would play
okay?
football,
Yeah.
and we weren't a bad school rugby team, by the way. Like, we got to the semi-finals of the Kent County Cup
Oh damn. All right.
in rugby, and I was in that team. So
Oh yeah, and
it,
Kent go crazy for rugby. Or is it cricket?
yeah,
Or is it rugby or cricket?
probably a bit of both, but rugby is still popular, like pretty
Oh yeah.
popular.
What's that Canterbury? There's a brand. Is it a rugby
Yeah, yeah,
brand?
it's Canterbury. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so they're known for their rugby. Yeah, true.
So I think what happened is, basically, I used to spend a lot of time alone, and I would feed myself.
Mm,
And what was easy to feed, you just put like potato wedges
Okay.
in the oven.
Yeah.
You don't
You're
have
good
to
to
cook
go.
it. You're good to go. Like potato wedges, fish fingers, ketchup, mayo, done. That's your dinner. No vegetables, right? No salad, or even the worst thing is, I actually used to live in front of McDonald's, right? But you know when I was basically weaned off McDonald's, so I went to McDonald's almost never, even though I lived in front of a McDonald's.
Okay. So there's
But
other shit that was getting you
well,
fat.
where it was doner kebabs.
Oh,
Because
yeah, kebabs. That's
think
those are
about it. When
high.
you for £3, almost like a chicken and chip situation.
Yeah,
For £3, you can get wings and chips. For
yeah.
£3, I could get like a medium doner,
With chips.
no chips, but
Oh,
just
no chips.
but it's lamb doners. It was greasy, like,
Yeah, yeah,
and you know that. I think if I was getting that 2 or 3 times a week after school,
yeah.
and sometimes you'd eat that and the chocolate bar. So I think part of it was I already had like an unhealthy eating habits. But when I was at school, I would play football every day. I'd stay
Yeah,
after
yeah.
school during summer and play football. So I had things fighting the opposite way. When I dropped out of school, I wasn't playing football every day, but I kept the eating habits.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So when did you clock that? All right, this ain't me. This is kind of a problem now.
Literally, I got to tell you, there was like a motivation video on YouTube. This guy called John Calvo.
Okay.
And basically he did this whole motivation video like, the boy who never grew, who never gave up, became a man, and all this shit. But this guy was like a shorter dude, maybe like 5'6", 5'8", or whatever. And the dude was my weight but shorter, so you can
Okay.
imagine.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
anyway, he does the little motivation video. Shit's got like gladiator music going on or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
and and by the end of the video, the man's doing like one arm push ups and shit. Right? So I was like, God damn, this some serious shit. Later
Wait,
on,
how old
later,
was you when you saw this?
or early 20s.
Okay.
Later on, actually, just because I became interested in this person's character and whatever, because it was quite a drastic transformation. Later on, it turned out he was like bulimic. So what he ended up doing for several years, and what I realized is even his transformation was a result of his character, in the sense
Okay.
that it was like very extreme, right? Because he became very fat, and then it was like an opposite extreme. He was saying like stuff like he would go for like 4 or 5, 6 days a week eating like 800 calories a day or whatever, and he was
Okay.
lean, like six
Yeah.
pack lean, so he shouldn't have been doing that basically.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then on the weekend he might eat like 8 to 12,000 calories in a day,
Okay.
like
Okay.
huge amounts. But then he would make himself puke up or whatever, like bulimic.
Damn.
So he
Okay.
so he would still overeat, but it'd be like an overcompensation of junk
Mm, mm.
and whatever. So that's what came up. But literally, boo, like will sound narcissistic or whatever. But I was having back pain. I had it's even embarrassing to say. Do you know piles?
Oh shit. Damn.
Like
Fucking hell.
because it's like just like too much time on the toilet or shitting or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever,
yeah, yeah.
and to the point where there was times where like it developed, it was uncomfortable to sit down, so I'd have to stay in bed, plus the back pain. I was going through all this like physical pain,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was nothing aesthetic. Like my kind of body is ruined. Like my torso, I'm never going to look aesthetic in that sense. I can look aesthetic with a t-shirt on, just not off. But anyway, I literally just thought, damn. I remember watching that motivation video, and I wasn't like looking for anything, if you
Yeah,
see what
yeah.
I'm saying. It just came up. And I was just like, holy shit, you are way too smart for this. You are too smart. There was no kind of like, oh, you should be sexy or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I literally, I'm just like within my head, my own consciousness. You know, you like think to yourself or
Of
whatever.
course, yeah, definitely.
I literally just thought to myself, no way, I'm too smart. I'm too smart. I'm so young and I'm suffering with back pain. I'm suffering with this pile shit. What is going on here? This
Of
is
course,
not. This makes zero sense. What am I doing to myself?
of
Like,
course,
I just thought, I'm too smart. And when I started the journey, that was it. I didn't tell no one.
of
I
course,
just
yeah.
started because this is the thing. Lots of people say, "Oh, I want to diet. I want to do this." Let me
Yeah, I
tell
hear it
you,
all the
if
time
you
at
know
work, bro.
about it, yeah, it used to drive me nuts in my job because you would hear it all the time. I want to diet. I want to. Let
Yeah.
me tell you, if you want to do it, you're gonna do it, and if you don't want to do it, you don't do it, and that's how it happens.
Mm.
If you're
So what?
hearing about it and they're not doing, trust me, they're not gonna do it.
So how did it start? So from that point on, when you have your little epiphany, was it just cutting down what you were eating? Was it like being more proactive in doing exercises? What was it?
So at first, it was just simple. In fact, it was like a 4chan guide,
Okay.
like the 4chan guide to fitness or whatever.
Mm.
And basically, it just gives you little tips. And one of the tips is this discipline thing. So it said, you know, it's unrealistic that if you eat 3,000 calories a day, you're going to suddenly start eating 1,000.
Mm. Of course, yeah, yeah. That's too much of a shock.
So basically, it just said, change your habits. Because this is the thing, life isn't a diet. You can't just diet. You can't diet and go back to how you were eating.
Of course, nah.
So it was all about gradual change. So even for example, although actually I'm saying this to you, I ate bread and cheese today. Although actually it is the weekend, so that doesn't add up. But let's say every single day I would eat bread and cheese for breakfast, like a cheese sandwich or whatever, with like mayo or whatever, like more calorific. So okay, what do you do? Okay, no bread and cheese, only on weekends. Do you drink soft
Okay.
drink? Okay,
hmm
then let's swap that in for sparkling water. Oh, you drink a liter of juice every day. No more juice. So it was about you just slowly and gradually accelerate your changes to a healthier lifestyle. And even when I dropped all the weight, what I realized is you, partly again this idea where I went back to you about life is long. You don't need to scoff all the chocolate or all the chips, because if you've got 20 years to scoff chips and chocolate, actually you can have all of that without detriment to your health.
Definitely, yeah. Because, for example, right, I binge eat like honestly, I don't know understand why I'm not fat because I binge eat crap like crazy. Like yesterday, I had a doner kebab. Funny, you was talking about that,
Okay,
but
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
With
but I
chili
think it's
sauce.
no. I use burger sauce, man. I'm onto burger sauce, man.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
but if you get a chicken grilled kebab,
yeah.
garlic mayo.
Garlic mayo, yeah, of course,
But
of course.
I got to recount one of my favourite doner kebab stories because it was a
Wait,
bit.
was this when you were still big, or is this recent?
Oh
When
no,
you
no, it's not even to do with me. It was just like I bear witness to the funniest, most dirtiest kebab I ever seen in my life.
what's
The
that?
skinniest guy comes in to the kebab shop,
Mm.
and he's like this is like Bermondsey, so the dude's a Millwall fan, like like kind
Yeah.
of skinny ass man in his 40s, Millwall fan. Like you can tell he's a smoker, that kind of stuff.
What do you reckon he fought during hooligan war times?
Nah, because he was fragile, mate. Like he looked skinny. But the guy comes in, he's like, "Oh, can I have a large doner, no salad?" And
Uh-huh.
then he's like, "Oh," the boss man's like, "Oh, do you want any sauce?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, just mayo." So the man was just eating like a ball of like doner meat grease with mayo. Like think about it, mayo straight onto
Some
greasy
greasy.
doner meat. I was like shocked. I remember it to this day. No. So you go on. You binge eating like junk food.
Yeah, and I always find what I found is it's not habitual. Like even I notice it. Like it's like, oh, this is a one-off. I haven't had this in like a month, so I'll treat myself. And I think yeah, it's definitely when if I was to do that every weekend or at least once a week, then I reckon the weight would pile on. And I think you're right. It's literally the things that you put into your life, man. Eventually, it does kind of catch up with you. And when it comes to eating, it's just like with anything else, any
Eating
other
really
bad habit.
catches up with you.
Mm.
And it's just bad habits, because here's the thing, you can have everything. It's like, do you want a chocolate? Yeah. But you don't need a chocolate every fucking evening. That's not right. You don't need that. You don't need that every evening. You don't need a biscuit all the time. It's this kind of stuff, like, that's how you do it. So it's just about slowly giving yourself that little discipline of cutting out little bits. And you start to realise, because, man, I remember I would still eat anything I wanted. I would still eat it. But this is another thing. When you eat less, your stomach shrinks. So you're satisfied sooner.
Okay.
If you're scoffing and you're eating loads, your stomach expands to fill.
Exactly. To reach the point, people have to get gastric bands to stop their stomachs from, like, to squeeze their stomachs to stop them to wanting to eat.
Yeah, that's not
That's
right.
when you got that's when you've gone too far.
You know, I think where society's going with that. And not only that, like, is self-esteem, is confidence, is like, I think overeating is depression.
Yeah.
You know, people
They
use
use
it
it
as a
comfort food.
comfort food.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to say her name, but you know, remember my manager back in Kent?
Yeah.
Yeah, she even told me that she used to whenever she gets stressed, she'll just like grab a tub of ice cream and she'd be all good. And I was at the time I was like, whoa, I couldn't fathom like the idea of just comfort eating, you know. But it's like with anything, like people have a glass of wine to take the edge off, or people might have a cigarette. But I guess the
Yeah.
same applies with food. It's crazy, man. But yeah, so Brian, to wrap up this journey of yours, when did you reach a point like cool, like Fat Brian's a thing of the past. Now I'm
Well,
trying to go for bigger.
I think Fat Brian has come back really just because of like hospitalization and my leg. So I had like that disc rupture, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I couldn't feel my leg. The feeling in my leg is coming back. And so COVID has not been good for me, like not going to the gym. Like I know it's like went back to a very sedentary sort of lifestyle.
Oh, Brian, you normally have that word on point on most podcasts. What happened today?
No, it's true. Well, I'm going to jump on yours next. Like, so I think it's not gone. It's like, it's that thing you have to admit you're an addict. But really, previously, what I had before is I created a system where I used to go play football every Sunday. So I had a sense of social obligation to keep healthy and fit. And it was nice. Like, you know, I remember when I went back after not playing for whatever reason. And like, there's something about like several people who aren't my like close buddies, if you know what I'm saying, but saying, oh, good to see you, how you doing? Because you used to you played every week for a year or whatever with these people. Yeah. So, you know, it's that positive, optimistic energy as well. So I think you need to create like a social, especially when you're starting off, you need to create a social obligation for yourself.
Yeah.
About getting fit and healthy. And then it's like you can't beat yourself up, because one of the main tips is some people, they're like, oh, if I'm going to get a takeaway, fuck it, I'm going to go all in. No, don't go all in. Just buy one cheeseburger and you're done. You don't need to go all in, because you can waste a whole week's effort in a second.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is the I mean, it sounds like the Nazi gate, you know, the entrance of Auschwitz, like work is freedom, whatever. But like discipline equals some sort of freedom.
Wait, was that a Nazi saying? You're saying that expression?
No. I think work sets you free is the Nazi saying.
Okay, got you.
But like, there's something to like the idea of discipline equals freedom. But you know, and I'm gonna get back on it for sure. Like, I even at the gym now, I've got this focus, and I'm just trying to, whenever I can, just give myself that little bit of discipline. Because here's the thing, like, I'm still on the right side of 30, okay? And I know if I put in this work until I'm 40, I'll extend my life an extra 10 years.
What, an extra 10 years of working?
Well, hopefully retirement. But what you get what I'm saying, like where I might drop out at 60, maybe I can make it into the 70s in a better condition as well.
Definitely.
You know, so it's health is wealth. You know, there's no point being a fat slob and being rich because you can die the next day. You know, man. Health is wealth, and no one can take that away from you. No one. It's a fact.
Yo, I want us to wrap up on that message, Brian, bro, because that's motivation right there. You know, you thought about becoming a Tony Robbins?
You know what?
Is there like a Fat People Anonymous kind of thing where you can just go and speak your story?
I have actually. When I did drop all the weight, I did think, damn, could I just like do this?
What's that? What's do this?
Like motivational speaker type shit.
Go to Weight Watchers and be like, hey, my name's Brian.
Yeah, but
I'm an ex-fatty.
I don't think they would want me at Weight Watchers because all that stuff is bullshit. Like all this diet shit is bullshit. Like no, you don't need to like macro count if you're not body weight. You just need to calorie count. You know, and this is the thing. It's like the only way it sticks is if you slowly change your behavior. You can't just change one day to the next. That's not how human beings work. You need routine. You need discipline and routine. You know, that's how you establish change. But yo, let's end it on health is wealth. But don't go in too ham, like you proved in your in our hospitalization episode.
Yeah, check us. Yeah, check that podcast out if you want to know what happened to me.
That's a bit of a quality one.
Send us a message on the site at bigkiz.com. We want to hear your message, your views of what you find, what we're talking about. If you think we're talking shit, if you think we're talking enlightened, like facts, just let us know. You know.
No, absolutely. I would. Listener input, very welcome. But let's leave it there. Health is wealth. Been good speaking to you, man.
As always.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll see you this week. All being well, innit? An off-air conversation. Not that it'll be any different anyway. But all right, peace.
Safe.